that those people are often extremely original in their thinking.
That is it.
Now I like, oh man, I gotta save this. Dang, I ain't gonna do that. Let me like and save that one. That's absolutely, positively true for me in the way that I'm looking at my life. I have been to college. I did attend university. I have a bachelor's degree. But after that process of learning, of academics, after that academic process, I didn't do much more under the study of academia. And so the way that I hope you enjoyed that old episode, you know what I'm saying? But time to move on to the new episode. So let's dive right back into this thing right here. Let me get my camera. I didn't put on my lotion, but let's check my nails. My nails, I think so at least. All right, here we go. Got our actual factual book back up in here. So the other books that I got, they are the same kind of format right here. Like you go through and you can pick a page and pretty much decide what it is that you want to read from what it is that you don't want to read. I hate sounding like or feeling like I'm shouting into the mic. There you go. Yeah, you can pick a page and see where it is. Oh, my hand is terribly ashy. It's a working hand. It's a working hand. All right, anyway. But you can pick a page and kind of see, well, read whatever it is that you want to read. But the only thing about that is I'm not going to tell y'all the topics that the books are, because it's not just actual factual like this one, but it is stuff like world events. I ain't gonna tell you no more. All right, anyway, let's go. Let's get to my groaners. Where my groaners at? I know what time it is, baby. You know what time it is, baby. All right, let's see. Let me see now. Hey, let me see. Hey, did you hear about the fisherman magician? Hey, he be like, pick a card, any card. You know, like the fish, a card. Anyway, how was Rome split in two? With a pair of Caesars. Yeah, that's enough of the groaners right there. I heard you laughing. You ain't got to tell me twice. All right, here we go. So, what is this? The International League. Football is America's most popular sport, right? But outside of the United States, its popularity is minuscule. Baseball has a lot of fans outside of the United States, but mostly in Latin America and parts of Asia. So what American sport is the most popular around the world? Thanks in part to the success of 1992 Olympic Dream Team. That's interesting. Let's see if I can read upside down. It's basketball. It's basketball. I'm gonna explain what these are in a second. Let me finish reading. Okay. It's basketball. In fact, the 2017-18 NBA season has recorded 108 players from 42 other countries or territories. Here are the first players to represent their country in the NBA and the total number who have played in the league as of 2018. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready to hear some names that I might or might not pronounce correctly? All right, here we go. Antigua and Barbuda. Julius Hodge, 2005, one player in the NBA. Argentina, Pepe Sanchez, 2000, 12 players. They got 12 players in the NBA, Argentina. See if y'all know some of these names. Y'all probably do. All right, from Australia, we got Luke Longley, and they got 17 players in the NBA. Oh, I can read from there. Let me see. Let's see. The Bahamas, Michael Thompson, 1978, 4 players in the NBA. Belarus, what that say? Camera ain't HD, huh? Manlik Waynes, Y'all look at some of these. Look at Germany over there with what they say? Frito Fry? Frito. I'm going to just read it myself, y'all. Germany got Frito Frey. Frito Frey in 1946. And they got 22 players in the NBA. They just don't name all of them, but they name the first and then tell how many. Okay. So, go with the flow. There are 169 active volcanoes in the USA. Well, in the US. All right, back to what I was reading. Oh, Egypt. Egypt got the first player to ever play from Egypt was Alaa Abdel Nabi in 1990, and they got 2 players in the NBA right now as of 2018. What about Russia? Russia got Sergei Bosarevich in 1994, and they got 12 players. Basketball, that's right. Yeah, they got 12 players in the NBA. What country? I'm gonna put a sticky on there. Y'all type in the chat what country you want to see a player, or what country you want to hear the first player from, or how many players they got in the NBA. U.S. Virgin Islands, Charles Claxton, and they got 3 players in the NBA right now. Ukraine even got somebody in there. Well, Alexander Volkov. They got 19, in 1989, but Ukraine got 9 players in the NBA right now. Check it out. Check them out. All right. I don't want to read nothing too dark, so. Let me see. Remember me. Lost animals are loved, but only a select few are ever memorialized with statues. Oh, snap. Let's see if I can read from the screen now. All right. So, Old Bet was the first circus elephant brought. Oh man. Well, I tried again. Old Bet was the first circus elephant brought to the United States, honored with a statue in Somers, New York, a town famous for being the cradle of the American circus. Word, that's what's up. Old Bet isn't just the first American circus elephant. She actually inspired the creation of the first American circus. She was living in the menagerie in 1808 when a cattle dealer named Hacaliah Bailey bought her with the intention of putting her to work on his farm. So many townspeople dropped by to see the elephant at work that Bailey realized he could make more money with a traveling animal act than he could with a farm. So he bought more animals, including pigs and a dog that did tricks, and began touring. Wow, the Bailey Circus, later to become part of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, was born. On July 24th, 1816, the Bailey Circus was touring near Alfred, Maine, when a local farmer named Daniel Davis, that's my man, brought his rifle to the circus and shot Old Bet. Dang, that ain't my man's. Apparently in the belief that circuses were sinful waste of the public's money. Old Bet was dead, but Bailey wasn't done cashing in. 9 years later, he built the Elephant Hotel in Somers, where he lived. In front of the hotel, he erected a tall granite pedestal and placed a wooden statue of an elephant on top of it. Both the building and the monument are still there, but today the Elephant Hotel serves as Somers Town Hotel. Y'all like my reading voice? As Somers Town Hotel. Come and get it today, 75% off, and if you get here now, you won't have to pay nothing. You sold today. Alright, check this out. Occupational name quiz. Can you guess the names of famous people if we give you a clue about their lives and the lives they could lead if they took on the job or hobby that correlates to their last name? Answers on page 501. Let's flip over to page 501 real quick. Just so I can get the answers already queued up for us. All right, let's go. Occupational name quiz. I'll put the sticky in there too, so that I know what it's referencing. Thank you for the sticky notes, whoever gave them to me. All right, here we go. We're gonna jump around. So number 13, he's an R&B superstar who will show you to your seat. He's an R&B superstar who will show you to your seat. I wonder if we get the Jeopardy music up, will they ding me for it? They are, but we'll be okay. It's fitting. Final Jeopardy music. There you go. Let's have some fun. It is Friday, however. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. All right, let's go. I bet y'all be laughing out there. If I was watching, that wasn't me, I would be laughing. Hey, look. Huh? All right, let's go. All right. Did y'all get that last one? He's an R&B superstar who will show you to your seat. Usher. Oh, we've got a winner out there, folks. I think that would be my guess. Let's go. Let's flip to number 13. Occupational name. Usher. Usher is correct. Ding, 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 ding. Hold on. We need another sound in here. Let's play this. Let's have some fun on today's show. YouTube. You know what music we need? I'm gonna show y'all what music we need. Y'all, you gonna love this. You gonna love this. There we go. You gonna love this one. It's not like a ding ding ding, but this is what we need. When you get one right. This ain't it. There you go. That's the part I'm looking for. Let me get it set up. All right, I got it queued up. You ready? Here go your next one. We're gonna go to number 6. He ground up politicians and celebrities as a talk show host and weekend update anchor, and then ground grain into flour. He ground up politicians and celebrities as a talk show host and weekend update anchor, and then ground grain into flour. Number 6. Number 6. He ground up politicians and celebrities as a talk show host and weekend update anchor, and then ground grain into flour. Number 6. A few more seconds, folks. I'm gonna read that again. He ground up politicians and celebrities as a talk show host and weekend update anchor, and then ground grain into flour. A grinder. Okay, we have an answer out there for us today. Grinder. Grinder is the answer. I didn't know this one either, Mom. Let's check it out. Number 6. And we ain't gonna wait that long for the answer. I just wanted to make sure you got a chance to type something in the chat for yourself. Dennis Miller, a person who grinds grain in a mill, is a miller. Dennis Miller. Remember, this is, I'm gonna read the instructions. Can you guess? We're gonna do 2 more. Can you guess the names of these famous people if we give you a clue about their lives and the lives they could lead if they took a job or hobby that correlates to their last name? All right, here we go. We're gonna do this again. All right, so I'm not reading them, I'm just picking a number. All right, here we go. Number 8. He was an NFL running back, and now he can take a little off the top and give you a shave. Let us go. I'm gonna give you half the time for this one. He was a star NFL running back, and now he can take a little off the top and give you a shave. Cold cash, the flu virus can live on a dollar bill for as long as 2 weeks. Interesting fact there, folks. Alrighty, your time is up. We have don't know him. Oh yeah, I ain't know Dennis Miller anyway, but I guess we could have, I don't know. But Tiki Barber, that sounds like it is the answer, folks. Tiki Barber. The question was, he was an NFL star, running back, and now he can take a little off the top and give you a shave. Tiki Barber, number 8. And we have a correct answer here, folks. Tiki Barber is the answer. That is it for the occupational name quiz today, and our top prizes go to Zanita67. She wins today. Gratitude from the host. Join us here today or next week on occupational name quiz, folks. That was fun. Let's flip through this. Let's flip through this book some more. That's only about 30 minutes in. Ain't nobody about to read that. Oh man, y'all remember the DNA kit one we had read? That popped up again. Let's see another page. Nah. Ooh, wise women mouthing off some thought-provoking words on how to thrive in a challenging world. Wise women. All right. Always be more than you appear, and never appear to be more than you are. Angela Merkel. I've learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. Rosa Parks. I used to want the words, "She tried," on my tombstone. Now I want, "She did it." Catherine Dunham. There are no hopeless situations. There are only men who have grown hopeless about them. Claire Booth Luce. A wise woman puts a grain of sugar into everything she says. A wise woman puts a grain of sugar into everything she says to a man, and takes a grain of salt with everything he says to her. Helen Rowland. It isn't where you come from, it's where you're going that counts. Ella Fitzgerald. Big egos are shields for lots of empty space. Shit. Diane Black. Y'all can see my face right now? Wow. We are all born to die. The difference is the intensity with which you choose to live. Gina Lola Brigida. Oh man. Those was nice. And that was Wise Women. Alright, let me see. You know, I was asking this question about how do they test alcohol. We can look it up after this. Yeah, you say you know a little something, right? Tiki Barber, right? Yeah, the women is on fire. All right, let me see. It is not about the destination; it's about the experience. I got you. It is not about the destination; it's about the experience. Zanita Jordan, 2025. All rights and claims go to Zanita Jordan. If you wanted to book her at any time, message her manager. Link in the bio. Yeah. All right. So remember, I was talking about how would you test alcohol? Like, how do they test it? We can look it up. We're gonna look it up after this. But I was thinking about that, and it's funny now. Look at this page. The Fatal Glass of Beer. All right, let's check it out. Some American presidents have had a reputation for drinking to excess, but Abraham Lincoln wasn't one of them. Even so, alcohol played a role in his untimely end. On guard. 5 days after Robert E. Lee surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in April 1865, effectively bringing the Civil War to an end, President Lincoln and his wife decided to enjoy a rare night out. They went to see a performance of the comedy Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater, a few blocks from the White House. That evening, the president's regular bodyguard, Colonel William Crook, was off duty. Oh my gosh. Is that why they call people a crook? So a Washington, D.C. policeman named John Parker accompanied the Lincolns to the theater in his place. After the Lincolns and their guest, Major Henry Rathbone and his fiancée, Clara Harris, settled into their presidential box. Parker, armed with a revolver, stationed himself in the passageway outside. He didn't stay there long. At some point during the play, he left his post and went next door to the Star Saloon for a tankard of ale. You got to be... Dog, you went all the way across the street? Parker later claimed that Lincoln had released him from his responsibilities until the end of the play. We ain't never gonna find out from him because he dead. Excuse me. Strange bedfellows. The owner of the Star Saloon, Peter Talteval, later testified that around 10 p.m. while Parker was drinking his ale, John Wilkes Booth walked into the saloon, ordered some whiskey, then asked for a glass of water. After downing both, he left money on the bar and walked out. He proceeded directly to Ford's Theater and at 10:13 fired the shot that killed Lincoln. Parker was still in the saloon drinking beer when word drifted in that the president had been shot. God damn it. Excuse me, Lord. Mary Lincoln laid much of the blame for Lincoln's death at Parker's feet. So did Lincoln's regular bodyguard, Colonel Crook. Booth had found it necessary to stimulate himself with whiskey in order to reach the proper pitch of fanaticism. He wrote, he found a man at the door or the president's box with a Colt revolver. His alcohol courage might have evaporated. Had he found a man at the door or the president's box with a Colt's revolver, his alcohol courage might have evaporated. After the assassination, Parker, who had a history of being drunk on duty and visiting brothels during work hours, remained on the force. He was even assigned to guard Mary Lincoln. So you are on guard tonight. On guard in the White House after helping to murder the president? She screamed before ordering him from her sight. You ain't getting out of here, I'm punched. In 1868, Parker was thrown off the force after he was caught sleeping on the job. There are more digits, this is a fun fact, there are more digits in a number called Googleplex than there are particles in the universe. How y'all count any of that? I know y'all. I know y'all was able to count it. I'm sorry, no disrespect. I'm part of the science, so I know y'all was able to count it. It's just I ain't got there yet. Disneyland serves up to 2.8 million churros a year. All right, I got another quote for y'all. We had 33 minutes. All right. Language is the roadmap of a culture. It tells you where its people come from and where they're going. All right. So y'all enjoyed this show from the other day. And let me grab the other books that I was talking about. And I'm going to read a few more of these, but then I'm going to showcase them to y'all, see what we got, and see how y'all feel. Look, hold on. I want to see some more of this. Hold up. The library. Now, this first one, I have not been able to crack it open and get it going, so I just been holding on to it, and somebody else could have been reading it. But I really, really want to read it, and so Fun Fact Friday will give us a chance to do that. You know, in some way or some shape, form, or fashion. Even if we do it on Wednesdays, we try to take Wednesdays and do Find Your Way Wednesdays or Mindful Mondays, and we just read and go along with that. It helps me to do stuff other than, well, to combine two things or get two birds with one stone. I don't like killing birds, but you know what I mean. So wisdom codes. Now this next book though. And I can read a little bit read the cover for y'all. So It's by Greg Braden, and ancient words to rewire our brains and heal our hearts. All right, so now this next one though, however, I checked this book out because I was like, yo, there's no way we don't know more of this. Now this is why I said I didn't want to tell y'all what it was about. Look at this book. How interested? Drop in the chat. Now I'm gonna read a little bit out of both of them, but drop in the chat on how interested you would be able to be in looking in this book. Because when I seen it, just knowing my way about books, I was fascinated. I'm like, yo, there's no way that you don't see this stuff every day. You do not see this every day. Not saying the book. I'm talking about like you don't see it on the news. We got social media. People got phones everywhere. All of this stuff, but you do not see none of this stuff on, at least stuff on this cover. And they wrote a whole book about it and put it out. Jason Offutt. So let's go back to the first one first. Go over here. All right. So wisdom codes. The cutting edge of neurolinguistics meets the spiritual wisdom of the ages in a handbook of keywords that literally rewire our brains. Through consciously applying the word codes of the past to challenges we face in the moment, we benefit from the wisdom of ancient sages, healers, mystics, and prophets. In doing so, we're no longer victims. We are no longer defined by our circumstances, but become masters of our destiny. When we speak the words, either out loud or silently to ourselves, something shifts within us. And that something is where the power of words, chemistry, and neurons converge in a beautiful way. This is the power of the wisdom codes. In their presence, we are changed from the wisdom codes. All right, I like that. So this is that. That's interesting. All right. Now this one. Chasing American Monsters. Over 250 creatures, cryptids, and hairy beasts. All right. Now, if you're asking me, this is why I like this, because I want to see what's out there, and I ain't trying to go find it. So I got a book, and the book gonna show me pictures and words, so I don't got to go find it. But I would like to see. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, so let's see. Step right up and behold a stupendous collection of over 250 fearsome and fantastical creatures from every state in the Union. The black dog of Hanging Hills, the Tommy Knockers of Pennsylvania, the Banshee of the Badlands, these beasts and hundreds more will hold you spellbound, unable to look away from the frightful features in their extraordinary stories. Come face to face with modern day dinosaurs, extraterrestrials, dragons, lizardmen, giants, and flying humanoids. This illustrated collection includes more than 250 monsters and cryptids that will make your hair stand on end when you hear something go bump in the night. From Alabama to Wyoming and everywhere in between, these enigmatic abominations lurk in the darkest corners and the deepest shadows. This eye-opening book details the origins, appearance, and behaviors of these bizarre creatures so that if you should come across a terrifying beast in the wild, you would know exactly what you're dealing with. Alright. That's that one. Now, like I said, both of these books, good thing I run my own show, huh? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. I could be 30 minutes late if I desire, because you could always run this back, baby. You could always run it back. I hope y'all enjoyed that bit of broadcast from last week. We gonna get in here. We still gonna follow our same schedule, except it's gonna be a little bit shorter. We'll just have a shorter episode for today. I'm gonna get y'all some motivation, and then we're gonna go from there. All right, let's go. All right, get some motivation for men, for my mans and them out there. Go to your bed. Ugh. So, let me fill y'all in. Would you believe I had no coverage on my phone? Y'all better check and make sure y'all got coverage on your phone and on your devices, and I ain't talking about coverage like breaking your glass. I'm talking about like losing it or it just not turning on. Like, come on now. You feel me? You need that coverage. All right, let's go.
Provide and who can serve, who can. A good man is a man who can protect and who can provide and who can serve, who can comfort, who can reprimand, who can discipline, whatever's necessary to make the world a little better because he passed through.
The loud voices of this world are the 99% who don't understand exactly what you have to do. That's why when I speak and you don't understand me, it's probably a good thing. Because that probably means I'm in an area of life that you're not in.
It is astounding how many people want to be spectacular in life but also want to fit in and be normal. You are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
You ask all my teammates, one thing about Michael Jordan was he never asked me to do something that he didn't do. They're gonna say, well, he wasn't really a nice guy. He may have been a tyrant. Oh, well, that's you, because you never wanted anything.
If you're cool with walking in the shadows of yourself, and you know the only person you got is the man right there in the shadow, man. How you doing? Pretty good. How you doing? All right, man. Cool.
Let's run it.
It's kind of weird having a conversation with you, but ain't no one else around. Everyone else has faded way back then.
Yes.
Way back then.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes,
if you're
sir.
cool with that kind of walk of life, I tell you, man. The world is your playground.
So I went to a powerlifting competition a couple of years ago. There was this one guy there lifting. He holds a bunch of records in the squat. And he's a normal working class guy from a normal working class town on the outskirts of Newcastle. And watching that man warm up is something else. He's got a sacred playlist. He never listens to the songs apart from when he's about to step on to the lifting platform.
That's right.
He's got these headphones on and he's just walking up and down in the same way that you'd see a bull ready to go out, ready to go and chase something. And he steps out on stage and the hairs stand up on the back of your neck. You're watching this guy channel
Rage.
fury.
That's the god of war.
It's your brother, your mom, your friend, the one comment they're gonna say, you've changed, why are you doing another kick like this? Oh, you're gonna try that now. Okay, here we go again. The thing is that it's not about them being right or wrong. Again, it's about how right and how wrong they could be. Let's say you wanted to start a podcast in the past, and you did 3 episodes, and then you fell off. And then they think, I told you so. Stop with these dreams. Stop with this crazy content stuff. You're never going to become an influencer, or whatever your goal is. Replace influencer with whatever your thing is. The thing is that you are still closer having done 3 than having done 0. And so it's just about directional correctness and realizing that criticizers are more often correct, but when it matters most, incorrect.
But for some reason I thought that I needed to be the guy. And I said, no, you know what? You don't need to be the guy. You're a leader. You need to support your leader. And it's not about you. And so that right there also changed my attitude, because then, from then on, in my career and in my life, I realized, hey, I don't always need to be the center of attention, which is what our ego wants us to do. Our ego always wants it to be about us. And it's not about us. It's not about us at all. In fact, in a situation like that, where the platoon commander wants to do something, maybe he sees something that I don't see, maybe he's got a different strategic objective that he wants to accomplish, and I'm undermining that. And what does that do to our platoon? Hey, it makes me feel great, because I think, oh yeah, I might not be the guy in charge, but I'm out here making the calls. That's your ego. And what you have to do is subordinate your ego and be supportive of the person that's in charge, and you move forward together as a team. Because that's what it's about. It's not about me, it's about the team.
If you want
Yes,
someone
sir. Listen. Now, if I'm a man's in them out there, nice little motivation. We're already 30 minutes in. So, let me get back to what our topic is for the day. Hola. Alright, so we tending our garden today. You know, we gotta go back. I was watching the dog whisperer, and he ran into a dog that is naturally known for sheep herding. We're herding them sheep to get that little bit of exercise. So we're gonna tend our garden, herd our sheep back into the little barn or wherever they go, where the sheep go. I don't know. What I mean is, it's a figurative meaning for just looking at, just like he said, maybe checking our ego. Maybe it's some things that we were growing towards that need some pruning. Maybe it was some things that we're not growing towards that need some more uplifting and realigning. So we're just gonna realign and look at balancing ourselves in a way or direction that's positive for our growth and not negative for our intention, or whatever it is I was gonna say after that. All right, here we go. So, tending to our thoughts. Let's see what we got in the field of that. Hey, look at my man.
You're working your body into the grave because you refuse to work your mind. Is it possible that maybe the reason you're where you are is because when it comes time for you to make a decision that could change the destiny of your family, that your thoughts tend so much to lack that you just assume that that's the way things are, not because that's the way things are, but because that's the way you are. Because we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. You're working your body into the grave because
that's just something to get us started real quick.
What do we do then?
Let's jump this off like this.
Okay, so you got a new sweater. It looks great, and you're getting tons of compliments. But then, just one person says something snarky about it. And even though you got all that praise, you can't help but stew over the negative comment. Why is that? Why does our mind seem to dwell on the negative?
A lot of my research focuses on how people tend to get stuck in particular ways of thinking and what enables them to get unstuck.
Allison Ledgerwood is a psychology professor at UC Davis.
I got to study how humans think and how we could maybe think better.
We all know the expression about seeing a glass as half full or half empty. It isn't just what you see, but how you see it. And the way you describe that glass to people can really change how they feel about it. Allison wanted to know what happens when you try to switch your way of thinking from the positive frame to the negative frame, or vice versa.
Even the switch in the music just got me.
Her research team brought two groups of people into the lab and told them about a new surgical procedure. Group 1 was told that the procedure has a 70% success rate. For Group 2, they framed it as a 30% failure rate.
It's the same exact procedure, and they're giving you the exact same information, but one doctor is focusing on the part of the glass that's full, and the other doctor is focusing on the part of the glass that's empty.
So, no surprise, people like the procedure when it's described in positive terms, and they don't like it when you focus on the failure rate. But then, the researchers pointed out to the first group that you could also think of the procedure as failing 30% of the time. Suddenly, people didn't like it anymore. And when they tried a similar thing with Group 2, pointing out that the procedure had a 70% success rate, people didn't change their mind.
And over and over again in studies like that, we find that people seem to get stuck in the negative way of thinking about it. And it's hard for them to flip and focus on the positive.
So once you frame something negatively, it really sticks.
It makes sense from an evolutionary or functional perspective that our minds are built to look for negative information in the environment and to hold on to it once we find it.
Imagine your prehistoric ancestors. You don't want to forget that there might be a predator lurking around.
in many situations, we want our minds to be grabbed by the negative information so that we can fix problems when they're there.
But then, there are other situations where we want to get over some small imperfection or a bit of bad news when it's not helpful to fixate on the negative. What do we do then?
What I really take away from this research from my own life is that it's difficult to see the upside and that it takes work, literally, that we have to put effort into looking at the bright side of things, that we can't assume that our mind is just going to do that automatically.
So, I got a question for y'all. Let's start thinking. Do you think, or do you, let me ask that a little bit better. Do you feel every thought that you think? And what I mean is, if someone says something to me and I start to think about what they said and I feel upset, would I have felt upset if I never gave a analytic thought or observational thought to what they said? Kind of makes sense, right? Out of sight, out of mind. That works. But once you turn, like they said, once you turn that attention on, once you turn your attention on it, it starts to generate another process within you that is called feeling. Like, all right, if you are in a room, this is another example I got. If you in a room full of people and you talking to your friend and your friend says to you, hey, did you just hear that? Did you hear what they said about you? You were talking to them. You didn't pay it any thought about what was being said. And that right there, it's that attention that turns on to what it is that is being said, what it is that you're thinking, what else that someone else may be thinking. So out of sight, out of mind really does work. But once you turn that attention on, it starts to generate another process, and that process is how you feel. So
It's very easy.
Can you think something without feeling something? We starting to get into sticky territory, because then you start to say friends with benefits. I don't feel nothing. We can't. Hey. Somebody likes you more than you like them. And now it's just a bad situation. So can you think without feeling? Not to try to get y'all too far on a tangent, but can you think without feeling?
Keep tilting back towards the negatives.
And this is something you can counteract with practice. Like spending a few minutes each day thinking about the things you're grateful for. Doing this regularly can help it become a habit.
It's always
And it turns out that this negative bias can change.
You see, that's why Mindful Mondays is a thing, because it's always about paying attention. Like I said in just a couple seconds ago, it's always about paying attention and focusing on the moment, adding a little tasting of that gratitude or however much gratitude you want, and that automatically seems to shift you and change you every single time. Mindful Monday.
Over time. Remember when you were younger and any bad experience felt like the end of the world?
Yes.
So this kind of pervasive negativity.
Younger and any bad counteract with practice. Like spending a few minutes each day thinking about the things you're grateful for. Doing this regularly can help it become a habit. And it turns out that this negative bias can change over time. Remember when you were younger and any bad experience felt like the end of the world?
So this kind of pervasive negativity bias starts to diminish. And so in our research, we find that the stickiness of a negative frame seems to disappear entirely by the time people are in their 70s. And they seem to flow back and forth between negatives and positives much more easily.
So maybe that's something we can all be grateful for. That there are actually some good things about getting older. How do you get out of...
That's nice. That was nice. Self, prune out your thoughts. Figure out, like, there's a channel I've realized there's a channel within us that flows for us to feel good. Then there's a channel that flows for us to feel bad. And we live in the Western world right now where they ain't if you working a job right now, they don't give you an hour to go meditate or give you everybody get up 30 minutes and we stretch and do the little yoga thing. You don't do that. And even in a lot of places, you're not even focused on that. You worry about getting money. You worry about taking care of your kids. You talking about having a good time, all of that. But when you really look at life in its true essence and what it is, not taking care of yourself is the first step to your destruction. You pull back and then you get to be like 40 years old, and then you pulling back some of this care for yourself. You take back some of that go, 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 go mentality. I got to make something out of myself. And you realize, wow, I've been made this entire time. I've been here this entire time. And really what I should have focused on is tending to myself, tending to the way I think, tending to my mind, the care and the thoughts that I put into this reality. And hey, whenever you start, it's okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's a person in a wheelchair that wish they could run. It's a man or a woman in a bed who wish that they could move. You can move. You can think. Go move and think as much as you can. But do not waste time without meditating, or let me say meditating ain't the right word. Don't waste time on not taking care of your mind and being mindful. If you don't have it, like I said, the examples that I gave, the person in the wheelchair can still move around, still think, still do everything. But the person in the bed, they can probably still think. They can't move around. Somebody who ain't here, we don't know what they doing. So, while you're here, don't forget to take care of the most important part of you, which is your mind, and be mindful, all right? Let's get some quotes in here, get some soul food for us. Soulful quotes.
Big, but there's nothing they can do to stop it. So there's this new super powerful monocular, and it's got the zooming power of a military-grade sniper scope. It's already banned from...
I might have to read these. They ain't gonna read them. The soul always knows what to do to heal itself. The challenge is to silence the mind. Caroline Miss. Whatever's good for your soul, do that. I'm only gonna read a couple of them because I prefer them to read, you know what I mean? We all have souls of different ages. Hey, F. Scott Fitzgerald. My soul is from elsewhere. I'm sure of that, and I intend to end up there. Rumi. Hey, I don't mind this. Follow your soul, it knows the way. There is nothing more beautiful than a kind soul. Dabasish Ridya. Quiet the mind and the soul will speak. Oh my gosh. Majaha Sati Bhakavita. Bhagavata. My soul is the light that grounds me. What keeps life fascinating is the constant creativity of the soul. Deepak Chopra. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Re-examine all you have been told. Dismiss what insults your soul. Walt Whitman. Yeah, Walt. My man's right there. Hey. Music is an outburst of the soul. Frederick Delius. a couple more. I'm not a body with a soul. I'm a soul that has a visible part called the body. Ooh, Paulo Coelho. I've read his book. I actually, you know what? Paulo Coelho, Jab, remind me. His book is called, Jeez Louise, The Alchemist. It's a good book. I read it. If you are a young man or woman out there in the world and you're looking for good literature, something simple, something that ain't gonna like be too heavy on you and you feel like, oh, I need to read this. Something that's light, but it tells a good story. Paulo Coelho. I think I'm saying his name right. The Alchemist. Write it down. Take a picture of it if you want to. I don't know. But that's a real good book. A room without books is like a body without a soul. Marcus Tullius Cicero. All right, last one. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. Oh, Aristotle. Oh my gosh. Now that one hit home. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. All right, y'all. Let's get somebody to talk to us on the way out. Mindful Monday. Let's type that in. See who else doing a Mindful Monday. Let's get somebody else to talk to us for like 3 minutes, and then we're going to get up out of here for the day, y'all. I ain't going to hold y'all. I ain't going to hold you now. Let's get some people y'all don't know or ain't as professional.
Mondays feel heavy because we label them as the start of pressure. We tell ourselves a story of dread, and our mind follows, creating the Monday blues. But what if Monday isn't the enemy? What if it's actually the most powerful day of the week? A reset button, a chance to begin again with fresh energy. Instead of dreading it, choose to step into Monday with intention, seeing it as a door to new opportunities and growth.
That's right, let's get it.
When you wake up and say, "This week is mine to create," you shift from resistance to empowerment.
That's right, let me get there.
So today, claim your Monday. It isn't here to drain you. It's here to remind you of your strength, your vision, and the fresh start you deserve.
Hey,
Mondays
that one,
feel
hey.
heavy.
Now that
Mondays feel heavy because
that right there just shifted me. I think that's the first like they done got too. Yeah. Y'all needed to hear that. Let's see what this old lady got to say.
Good afternoon, almost. It is Monday, and I just want to say it's a mindful Monday. You need to be meaningful, mindful, and motivational. And I say that as I go along this social media journey. I'm learning that those that you expect or expected to support you might not. They might show up, and they sometimes might show out. However, be mindful. Be mindful how you treat people. Be mindful how you might need people. Your journey is yours, and no one else has to go on it with you. For the fact that I have invited people to come along our journey was a big pull for me. But since I have, I feel like I'm losing some along the way.
No, you can't turn that into a short. Let me see, because that wasn't no short. Let's see. Hey, we about to check out her page real quick.
All right, Amazing Grace Cakes. This is the best dad ever. Vanilla bean pound cake. Nice and simple. Just glazed to perfection with chocolate rocks. Look at that.
See, her channel ain't even about all
right,
that. I like
Crazy
her channel. Her channel ain't about nothing about what she was just talking about. Her channel about the cakes. Put them cakes up there. Hey, hold up. Let's see some of them cakes. I shouldn't say that, huh?
All right, Grace Amazings. I'm going to try this again. I started this morning. I wanted to show you the butter, how it ended up.
I'm sorry, y'all. I needed to see this. Oh, I be hungry.
Because you can't get around up under there.
Ooh. hold up.
Like the
Go back
trailblazer
now.
cake,
Go
y'all.
back. Let me see right before you had did all of that
Cake
now.
pan and pour it on top, so it'll be like a nut harmony on top, because that might boss up my glaze. So just hang on. Let's see what we get. All right, guys. There's the cranberry she's out of the oven. I'm about to dump her.
Cranberry
This one
buffoon
I'm
here.
about like the trailblazer cake, y'all. These are toasted cranberries and pecans, and the cake
Oh, they can
smells
keep
like
the pecans, but
oranges and cranberries. So very
but them
festive
cranberry.
smell.
Mm.
And there she is.
Put that glaze
came
on
out
there.
pretty good.
Put the icing on that girl. Put that
Thank you
icing
guys for
on that
watching.
girl.
She'll have a glaze on her.
Right.
Casina's cranberry. Orange flavored sauce.
Yeah, you can keep the
There she
pecans,
is,
but
guys. An orange cranberry pound cake with a cranberry glaze. Then we have
look at her
a
putting in that
drizzle
work.
of KO wing sauce, cranberry orange
I'm gonna like
flavored
this one,
sauce,
just cause.
topped
All right,
with
y'all.
walnuts and cranberries.
We
And
gonna
as
go
you seen
ahead
in the
and
photo before,
get up
there's
out of
some
here
nice
for the
and
day.
walnuts that were baked into the top of this cake.
Be mindful out there. I know I started a little bit late, but I was trying to get my devices together. Y'all be all right. We'll be back tomorrow. Tech Tuesday. I give y'all a nice class on. So before I go, Tech Tuesday for everybody. All right. Now I'm gonna teach y'all tomorrow how to have y'all a nice setup, a nice game station for yourself. Don't exclude yourself from that. That don't mean you gotta be playing a Nintendo Switch, Super Nintendo. It could be your mobile devices. It could be any game that you would like to play. We can do a 2-week series. We can do a 3. It don't matter. We gonna get this game station thing put together for you, cause everybody needs the games now. It ain't young, old, middle age, dog, cat. You need the games, all right? So we're going to get up. We're going to teach y'all. I'm going to teach you how to set up your own game station. And we ain't talking board games. We talking about electricity, getting it popping, all right? Video game world. So without further ado, this has been another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. Glad I can give y'all this service. I'm going to be working on some clips, doing a whole bunch of stuff today, cleaning and some other stuff. I'll check y'all out on 2K2 later. I'm glad it's still preseason because I've been kind of fumbling around with it, but I'm still maxing out. All right, y'all. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, Tech Tuesdays. This is DGTA TV. All right, y'all. Peace.
You just want to step out of it, to step out of the whole race, the whole business. The monstrosity of being alive overwhelms you.
We cannot deny the forces that once we attain a certain level of pleasure, then we're going to get used to it. But if it gets, redirected or it doesn't happen the way we want, well, that's when the suffering comes.
You take steps in this direction, you take steps in that direction, sort of get lost along the way, and sometimes you fall down.
But if I fail, I try again and again and again. For as long as I try, there's always that chance of getting up. And it's not the end until you've given up. And just the fact that you're here should persuade you that you have enough. There's still hope.
Where is their happiness? Well, happiness is found within the heart, or found within the whole world, everything and nothing. It's not in one particular thing, but it's in everything.
I know how it feels to have a broken heart, and I know how it feels to be alone. But I just want you to know that it's not the end.
You're thinking about quitting, you're thinking about giving up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Stay in it. Stay focused.
I like this motivation for today. It's nice and simple, clean and cut. And the reason I like it is because it tied perfectly into what the topic is today of being patient. So, as always, I want to get us some science behind this. All right, science of being patient. Because think about it, what is it really benefiting you? Don't it feel good to right in the moment? Don't it feel good to or get to do what you want to do like everybody else? So what is it really benefiting you to be patient? Let's explore this idea for a second.
There's an emerging idea that's kind of interesting about impatience. So we've all had the feeling of being impatient. Some people are far more patient than others. But if you've ever been in line at the store and you feel like something's going very slowly, you know, the person in front of you is taking a long time, they're doing some returns, and you're getting kind of impatient, maybe you're breathing in a mask, and you're like, ugh, like you're, you know. What's the idea is that if you're getting a certain frequency of pulses from your body, and if those pulses are coming in quickly, like you're perceiving yourself, that interoception quickly, you're gonna be more geared towards your internal representation. And then you're seeing what's going on in the outside world, and it seems like it's going very slowly. But there are other times when you're in line at the store, someone's getting some returns, and you're texting on your phone, or you've had a great day, you've had a great run, your family's in great shape, and you're fine. Why? Well, the frequency of those pulses, that interoception, is matched pretty well